Hello and welcome back to the Holotable Games Network. I'm Ginger Joe.
And I'm Starfleet Ensign Corey.
Oh wow, so we've gone from Lord of the Rings into Star Trek, and you're just avoiding the Star Wars world altogether, are
We'll
you?
see how long I can keep this going.
Okay.
I'm thinking at least 7 to 10 episodes.
7 to 10 episodes. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'm tracking all these. You realize this, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's
okay.
the plan. We'll see how long we can drag it out.
Excellent.
Eventually I'll run out of ideas, but for now.
I hope not. I really hope not. I want to see how far you're going to be able to go with this. Question is, are you a red shirt or not?
Well, yeah, that's what an ensign is.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay, so one of the bit of news that we wanted to talk about before we get onto the decks that we are going to be running off today with is the new format of Trilogy. So, I, for one, am super excited for Trilogy because being a consummate deck builder, I have too many ideas and not enough time. This format gives me the time to actually potentially play all the ideas that I want to play. So the other thing that I love, no sideboard, because I actually hate making a sideboard because I never know exactly what to put into it, which we talked a little bit about last week.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts?
Well, I guess first of all, really quickly, do you want to run through what the Trilogy format is before we
go ahead?
Okay, so Trilogy was just announced, I believe it was last week, very recently. And it's a new format for Star Wars. They've decided on where it's going to be. Everybody comes with 3 decks. You build 3 decks. You take those decks, and then you get to ban one of your opponent's decks, and then you have to win with your other 2. First person to win against each other deck with their 2 decks wins the Trilogy format.
Correct. Now there is a caveat though.
Yes.
In how you build the decks.
Yes, there is that's the big thing is no overlap.
No overlap whatsoever. So you are still limited to 3 copies of any one card, but that's over all 3 decks.
Yes.
So that's where the real deck building kind of like mind hive kind of goes to town for me personally.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, do I want to build yellow decks that are going to potentially overlap, or do I just want to go 3 different colors all the way across the board so there's no overlap and I'm just going like power? Yeah. It's interesting. There is one thing they announced, though, that I was not pleased with.
Yes, well, I'll really quickly say, I love the idea of the format. It's a brilliant idea, and again, I like building decks. I usually carry around 3 to 4 different decks. This is fun for me, and building decks without overlap, not always the hardest. Sometimes challenging, but yeah, it makes you diversify your builds. But, the big but, and the big reason that I probably won't even want to play this format outside of casual play with friends is they're removing the ban list.
Suspended list.
So the banned and suspended list does not apply to this, which means if this is played competitively, every single person is going to have a Django deck, a Boba deck, and then a 3rd deck that is also probably annoying.
Most likely
Kira, DJ Han. You can build all of those without overlapping. There's a couple cards that maybe will overlap. Your Surprise Strikes, things like that. Your Fett's Fire Spray, which will honestly probably end up in the Boba Fett deck over the Django deck. But it's minor overlaps. There's plenty to be able to build you could build a Boba Yellow, you could build a Boba Green, you're going to build a Django Tarkin Town, and it's not going to be fun at all because that's going to be every deck you play against, and it's not. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I never want to play Django again, ever. It drove me out of wanting to play in set 3.
Oh, really? Entirely?
I was just like, I'm done until they decided to ban Django.
Oh, wow.
I was completely out of I'm not playing competitively anymore because this is not fun.
Well,
it was not a fun deck to play against.
Well, that's something you have to consider though. Is that I like the idea that they're continuing to develop formats for one,
yes.
Right? And so you can always ignore all the competitive aspects of stuff out there and just play for fun, which I encourage you to do wholeheartedly, honestly.
100%.
So, and as they're premiering this at Worlds, they're keeping their eye on it, as they always do, and they will see if the bulk of the people come with those 3 aforementioned decks. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to extend the suspended list into the Trilogy.
I don't think it's going to be playable at Worlds.
It is, in fact, playable at Worlds as side events. That was announced in the video.
Okay, yeah.
So that's basically what they announced it for, was because they want to see if it's a format that people want to play.
Yeah.
Whether or not you can earn tickets or whatever at the events or whatever for it.
Which is kind of important.
Don't know. But it is definitely a format that I believe even it's Ryan's, right? Ryan Serrano, I think it is.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Maybe, I can't remember.
The Rules Guru guy that announced this with
Yeah.
Xander said that it will be at Worlds
All right.
to test out and see what's going to happen. I will be building 3 Trilogy decks to take with me, along with my Twin Suns decks and my Premier deck that I'm going to be playing in the main event with. So I am going full tilt into everything I can, which hopefully I don't have a lot of cross-promotion of cards because that's going to be a lot of decks to have to manage.
Yeah, that's a lot of decks to manage. I
So-
don't even know if I'm going to have a Twin Suns deck, honestly.
Oh no, you got to take at least one. You got to take it, or you can borrow one of mine
Yeah,
because I'll probably have a
these.
couple of them.
That'll probably be
so.
the way to do it, is just borrow one of yours. But yeah, no, again, I love the concept. I think it's a fun idea. It's something new. It's something original. I think it'll be a fun way to play, but it should utilize the suspended list. I mean, again, Triple Dark Raid. Why would you not make sure you have at least one deck with 3 Triple Dark Raids? It's broken.
Yep.
I get that the idea is eventually, yes, the legacy format, when there's enough sets, maybe Django and Boba won't be as bad when you have enough of a wide enough card base. But we're not going to have that for years.
Potentially.
At this point in time, Boba and Django just shouldn't. I was a Boba player. I loved playing Boba. Boba was broken. Boba was broken.
So
And do you really want to see Boba Fett's armor again? Do you really want to see Boba with Boba Fett's armor again?
you can still see that. So here's an idea. You can credit Ginger Joe for this little format idea. I've had this idea in my head as like a fun way to play the game, but nobody will do it with me. So it's you keep unique as a rule of thumb. So for instance, if a character is unique, i.e. Darth Vader, you can only have 1 copy of them in your deck. So it's kind of like Twin Suns, but in a Premier format. If they're not unique, you can still run 3 copies of them because they're just a person in the world at that point in time.
Obnoxious to build.
Oh, but it'd be so much fun because then you know that it's a blend of the Twin Suns and the Premier together into one cohesive thing.
But there's also so many uniques that just aren't good as a solo.
I'm not saying then don't play them.
Yeah.
But it would change how you build your decks, kind of thing. So,
I'm
anyway, that's
I'm
my
iffy.
little idea for a format that you can like roll forward and see if you can do anything with. If you do something with, let us know because I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I can
Yeah.
actually see how many
I'd be entertained.
other people were gonna get play out of that. But now let's get on to the decks that we're bringing forth for you today. Again, continuing with our set 5 kind of investigatory. Let's figure something out for Worlds. I again am still on my aggro kick if I can get something figured out. So I am working on GI Red. Yes, I know Veiled Shot already came out with one, but all I can say is great minds think alike because I had this on my head at the same time as well. So this would be my version of it. So the big things that I'm looking to do with this, as you can see from the list in front of you, is I think an early strike ship or TIE bomber on turn 1, followed immediately by a Vader is gross because you're able to still use GI to ready that ship and swing a second time on turn 2. So if they don't have an answer for that, that's just a lot of pain at that point in time. You follow that up by turn 4, aggression, that 4 damage removes a unit off their board and then can ready your unit again because you're still 3 power or less. That little opening sequence is my ideal situation. That's what I'm going for every single time if I can get it.
Yeah.
Yes, I've just told you my game plan, but that's okay. You got to have the stuff to stop it. So
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think that aggression, if you can get that off, is really strong. However, I'm still concerned that we live in a ping meta, and GI just is going to get eaten up alive by that. So whether or not he can survive, I know there's been some GI blues out there that have done really good in PQs and stuff, but again, I'm sure it wasn't an easy fight for those players to actually get there. So kudos to them and hats off for actually getting there. But that's what I'm bringing. That's what I'm hoping to pull out of the stops, and we'll see what happens. Mr. What is Starfleet Ensign over here?
Ensign, yeah, Starfleet Ensign
I
Court.
believe you are bringing.
I've got a Kazuda Blue. So Kazuda is a fun leader. I've been messing with Kazuda since he came out this last set. I love him to death. I've actually been running double yellow Kazuda for quite a while. I thought that was really a pretty decent deck last set. Nice shenanigans. Kind of felt the closest to the old double yellow to me. It had a similar feel in its tricksiness. But this is a little different because yellow didn't get a ton of help for this set, at least Kazuda yellow, but blue did. Kazuda got some very key cards in blue, so I'm trying out Kazuda Blue to see how it feels. Now, I will caveat this with right away. I will say, this is not my build. I actually did net deck this. So I went to and got Thork, and you can call me Al's build. I was just doing some Google searching to see Kazuda Blues that did well, because obviously I could have tweaked my yellow into blue, but I figured it'd be easier just to try to find something nice. And I think this is worth a good mention of the value of net decking. You should net deck. I'm a builder. I love building from scratch, but it's also worth your time. If you know that there is decent builds in this, go find those decent builds. Play them a bit. Then start tweaking them for your playstyle. The key is you're going to need to adjust it, because these decks are built for the playstyles of the players they're for. I've been testing this already. I haven't made some changes, but I've already got a handful of different changes kind of jotted down that I'm going to make. But it's a good way to do something and not start from scratch and find out cards that other people have found as key. Thork, for those that don't know, he's a fantastic player out in, I believe, Germany, right? I think he's European.
Know.
I think he's German. I'm actually not certain. I apologize, Thork. But, I mean, great player. He's got videos. If you haven't watched him, I highly recommend him. He's a very entertaining guy to watch. So I saw that he had a build, and I'm like, you know, my first draft is probably not going to be any better than this, so I'll give it a go. And it's a great build.
It's an interesting point that you make, because I, for one, suffer from this, is that when you are deck building, take your ego out of it. Yeah. I tend to be
100%.
One that I want to build a deck and I want to be known for this deck, so I'm always trying to find that dark horse, that underdog that I can take to a tournament and go like, where did that come from? It actually causes me more suffering than it does
Usually,
glory, because I end up basically trying to prove myself so hard that I hamper myself in the long run. So finding a deck on the net as a base, like Corey said, and then just tweaking it to become your own is not the worst thing in the world, kind of thing. You'll be better recognized when you win with the deck than just because it was so unique at that point in time.
Exactly.
So,
yes. So that said, this deck itself, some of the keys worth mentioning. So some of the big things I got from this deck. The number one is Ogdo Bogdo.
Is that how you say that?
Ogdobog? No, I think maybe it's Ogdobogdo. I cannot remember.
So,
I don't think they actually said it in Fallen Order.
All of your favorite units in this next set, you don't know how to pronounce.
I don't.
Lothwolf, Lothwolf, Ogdobogdo.
Yeah, we'll just make some up. And go with it. Did they? I mean, I played Fallen Order. I slammed my head against him repeatedly when you can first fight him, because he's very early on, and I was going to beat him, goddammit. And I did, but it took a little bit. But that said, yeah, I don't think they actually said his name ever in the game. But anyway,
I don't know.
He's very good. He's a 5/5 for 3, but the big thing is he can't attack unless he's damaged. Kaz turns that off. He can then just attack freely as a 5/5 for 3. The other big one is actually the Lothwolf again. I've brought him back again. I actually think Lothwolf is better than Ogdobogdo even in this set, because one of Kaz's biggest issues is he's a very space-heavy deck. He's got some ground game, but he's got a big weakness in the ground too. Lothwolf helps cover that. Not only is it that 3/3 Sentinel to get in the way as a speed bump, but then you can turn it off and attack for 3 anyway. So you get both options out of that, which is very useful. The other new card that it got was the J-Type Nubian. That's actually a yellow card. That's the one where it's a 2/4 at 3. It gets you draw a card, but when it's defeated, you discard a card. Again, Kaz can just turn off the discarded card. So you're just getting card draw out of it. And a 2/4 in space, pretty nice. Aside from that, you've got all the other staples. You've got your Millennium Falcons, obviously. Kaz is, along with Han, the best use of the Spark Millennium Falcon in the game, because he can just turn off that cost. You've got the Stolen AT Haulers, just all your staples of Kaz, because he's just turning everything off, all of its negatives off, and utilizing it. The other big thing you get in blue also is worth mentioning is the security. Oh, geez, I need to look at the Corporate Defense Shuttle, which is that 3/5 for 2, but it can't attack. Well, Kaz, it can attack. So it's a fun little deck. I think it's pretty decent. We're actually also running, I'm testing this out, this is what they were running with Security Complex, because as a fast aggro deck, running 25 is not the end of the world for me, and that shield can be really useful. I found it great to put on the Lothwolf on the ground, found it great to put on the ship that I want to put Kaz on the next turn, things like that it's really useful for. So overall, liking this deck a lot. Again, as I said, I'm going to be tweaking it after this, but this is the base version that Thork and You Can Call Me Al put together.
Nice. So,
yeah.
All right. At this point in time, I guess it's time to just take it to the table and see what we can do.
Let's see how it goes.
Oh, we got to roll for initiative
so
too.
So far
away. Me so far away.
Such a stretch.
Cleo,
What do you got?
65.
65. All right, and I've got
34.
So that'd be you.
And I will take it.
You will indeed. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, would you look at that then there. Interesting.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Let's go for it. Let's try it. It's doable. Potentially. We'll see.
Right then.
All right, you've got initiative. What you got for me?
Well, I mentioned it in the video.
Goes to space.
Let's move this down here.
Yeah, what's that again? The 3
so it's a raid 3. 0-3, raid 3 with overwhelm.
Overwhelm. Don't love that. We're going to throw a Loathwolf on the ground.
Okay. Do I want to give you... Yeah, sure. I mean, that's what the whole point of the deck is. I'm going to go ahead and ping 2 damage onto my strike ship and ready up.
Yep, and I will claim initiative then.
Okay, so then you can have the initiative token, and I'll swing for 3 at your base.
Yep, 3 in a base.
Feels so good.
Right.
And pass.
Right. Yep. Let's do that. All right.
You have initiative.
It is me with initiative then. We are going to swing in.
Do the fun thing.
Turn off the Loathwolf and swing in for 3.
Okay, so 3 damage onto my base. Yeah, we're definitely going to need the oversized ones because they're much more readable than the last things we were using, but still a little tiny, little small.
That's fair.
All right. Well, I want to do the thing that I said I was going to do.
You actually got it.
And we're going to put Vader onto the strike ship.
It's gross. Don't love that. And what's Vader's ability again? Remind me.
So Vader is I can ping a damage to any unit, and if that damage kills the unit, I also do 1 damage to your base.
Oh, okay.
Again, I do have overwhelm on that unit now.
Don't love that.
It's fantastic.
Don't love that at all. I'm going to pass.
All right, I'm going to swing for 6 at your base.
Yep. I'll play Falcon.
I claim.
Okay, 3 to base. And then I'll pass.
Okay.
And paying for Falcon.
You are?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Kaz can deploy onto the Falcon this turn. I think the fun thing is to put the Battle Fury onto this ship as well. Again, +3/+3, and I have to discard a card when I attack with said unit.
Gotcha. That's getting big. I should have actually. This is a misplay. I should have done this last turn. Let's throw a shield on that Falcon.
not do that yet. I'm going to swing with the strike ship at the Falcon. Vader will ping your shield away.
Yep, that's fine.
And then I have... Oh, I have to discard a card. I will discard this card.
Yep.
And then it's 9 damage.
Whew.
So overwhelm. You're
yeah.
taking 5 overwhelm onto your base from that.
And you took 3 back from that.
Yep,
yes,
that's why I'm at 5.
He's got 4 more health left, right?
9, yes.
That's going to be a problem. How do I deal with
This
that?
is indicative of your Falcon with double pilots right now.
Yeah, you know, it's a good problem. But did you also discard a card?
I did, the Grand Inquisitor.
Gotcha. Just checking.
Which means I probably should have done that.
Well, in that case, let's do this first. Let's jam his communication. Let's see what you got.
I have a Grim Resolve and a Priz Vizsla, which is why I said I should have done this, because I had the 2 resources to do it. So.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that as well. I was hoping to get it hidden aggression, obviously, but...
I will claim the initiative.
Yep, I'm going to then deploy Kaz, 2 to base with Kaz, turn that off.
So that's an 8 for me.
Yep, and then surprise strike that in for another 6.
Okay. So 8 plus 6 is 14. So
Yep.
we're going to go here,
And then
here,
pass.
and here.
Yep. Let's put that down, I think. Yeah, put that down. Yep. Alright, you've got initiative.
I do. So I'm going to go ahead and swing for my 9 into your base.
Yeah, that's going to kill me in the near future, so 23. Yeah, that's, I think, going to do me. You got your optimal play, because you're at 14.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have to ping something with Vader.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ping your Lothwolf, please.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I actually should have done that the very first swing, but we forgot.
Yeah. No, the last time you did you also discard a card?
Oh. Thanks for the reminder.
Mm-hmm. Let's do 2 to your base. Turn 2 to your base. Turn off the Lothwolf.
Sure. I'm going to Tarkin Town your Lothwolf.
Yep. Falcon.
Okay. Priz Vizsla.
Mm-hmm.
Not ready.
Not ready. Gets that for each damage. And that's gonna do it.
No Sentinel to get in the way?
Well, I have to kill that, is the problem.
Well, I can ready and kill you this turn as well.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
yeah, like I have to kill that. I can't kill both of those.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be a game because I've got surprise strike to kill that, but I don't have a way to.
Sure.
Or surprise strike in for 6, but that's still not quite. That'll put you at 22, so just short.
16 plus 6. Yep.
22.
Can't quite
yeah.
get there.
Really close. Yeah. Well, you got your nuts combo.
I did.
There you go.
Well, no, my nuts combo would have been aggression instead of the.
Oh yeah.
So the extra.
Yeah.
Action that I had.
Yeah, I was hoping to get an aggression with that jam communication. That's the
Yeah.
That's the play on that. Is like, oh yeah, I'm looking for those aggressions and vigilances, all the good stuff.
Oh
The
yeah,
juicy cards.
Especially for you being the Kaz, I
Yeah.
mean, you need to get rid of any upgrade hate that I possibly have out of my hand.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it
jam
also
communication
helps-
is great for that.
I also find it. I mean, I find it useful just on that flip turn to at least look at the hand, because then I know if you have a disabling Fang Fighter.
So the other thing that's great as well is the new card out of the next set, Tip the Scale. Basically the exact same thing as Jam Communications, only now you can take upgrades as well. So, because it is cost 2, you look at my hand, take a non-unit card.
Non-unit, yeah.
So, it costs you 1 more, but it gives you more versatility as far as what you can yank out of my hand. But that goes back to, what are you worried about?
Yes. My
So-
worry is not your upgrades as much as My worry is the cards that are going to be a problem.
Yeah, it's not my upgrade, it's my upgrade removal that you're worried about.
Yeah, I don't want the upgrade removal, which that's mostly those aside from... But again, it lets me peek and see if you have one anyway. So I know, like, is it safe or not?
I definitely like the inclusion into that deck, because especially pilots being so weak to item removal, yes, they're a huge tempo swing if you can get it. All upgrades cause a huge problem if they can remain on a unit.
Yep.
The moment they come off the unit, oh, well, crisis averted.
Yeah, not as bad anymore. No, not as concerned.
I mean, I was playing a Kaz Green for a while back in set 4.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I had a lot of cute little things I could do with it. And then our buddy Misha showed me the vulnerability.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, well, this is a little too weak at the moment. And it needs cards like the Jam Communications or Tip the Scale or even Spark of the Rebellion.
Spark is fine.
To actually find those upgrade hate cards and get rid of them. The other thing to consider is set 5 brings about a new upgrade hate card. It's a little bit mid-gamey, but it's Kit Fisto's Aether Sprite.
Yep.
It removes all upgrades from a unit. Mm-hmm. So that's your Millennium Falcon killer right there.
Yeah, that is brutal. All right, I'm good to go. I take initiative.
Ooh,
Can I?
You do.
Yep.
This is an interesting hand. So.
Very interesting.
Actually, you know something we haven't been doing?
Yeah.
Showing the people what we're actually choosing between. So.
Sure.
You want to do that? I'll close my eyes. You can show up your 2 resource cards.
Gotcha.
And you can actually let people know exactly what your thought process is.
So here's where I'm at here. I don't love letting these go, but I need these other answers right here. So this is kind of the way to go. Like, this is my, there we go. Then we go right there. So these are the more essential ones, especially considering what he's playing. So I have to let these go. It hurts a bit, but there's more of them that can hopefully show up. So that's where I end up at there. I think that's a good turn 1, turn 2, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right.
Okay. So
closing my eyes.
I don't know if I want to throw this back or not. I have this as a nice curve. These are also super helpful. But if I'm going to keep this, I can't do this. What I think it's going to be is I will keep the hand and do this. I think that gives me my best options. So we're going to go like that.
Perfect. You good?
Yep, we're good.
All right. Open my eyes. All right. Good to go.
You have initiative.
I have initiative. We're going to put an L3 out.
Okay, with a shield.
With the shield.
Well, I'm going to have your friend and my friend, the strike.
Do that again. Yep. I will claim initiative at that point.
And I will pass.
Okay.
Okay.
We will put that down and go with that.
I actually think this goes.
All right. 2 to base.
2 to my base. Well, you loved him the first time, you only loved him the second time, 3 to your base.
Fair.
Got him!
Yep. I was like, I figured it's coming. But that's fine if it isn't. Falcon out.
Okay. I'm going to play Fifth Brother.
Okay. I will then claim initiative.
Okay, so I'm going to deal 2 damage to Fifth Brother to ready him.
Yep.
I am then going to swing. I will do 1 damage to myself to ping your shield off of L337.
Yep.
But I'm attacking your base, and since I have 3 damage on me, I get raid 1 per damage on me. Therefore, I have a 5 attack coming at your base right now.
5 at the base. Perfect.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, 5 at the base.
And then I will pass.
Okay.
Claim, so.
Yep.
I'm getting difficult decisions to make this game.
Good. That's what I want to hear.
It's all about how do I want to maximize resources.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is correct or not.
All right, you good?
Yep.
All right, I gotta get that off the board. Too much damage.
Okay. So
Too
that
much
gets
damage.
removed.
Can't let that happen.
Then you flip this turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I want to try it this way. Battle Fury, that nice +3/+3 upgrade again.
Yep. You can just put it back in your hand.
Oh, waylaying it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But you don't get the Battle
Oh
Fury.
yeah, the Battle
Fury's
Fury's
dead.
That's fine.
Yep.
We're gonna put the strike ship back into play.
Fair. Kaz onto the Falcon.
Okay, I'm gonna ready the strike ship by doing 2 damage to it.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually gonna clear it off the board.
Okay. So you take 0 damage back because it's no attack.
Yep.
I will claim the initiative.
And I will pass.
Thank you. My go?
Your go.
I'm going to do the hurtful thing
Got
of
the
aggression
aggressive? I figured
to
as much, yeah.
remove Kaz.
Yep. Falcon.
Okay, I will claim.
Honda's on the Falcon.
Sure.
It's 5 base.
Okay.
And you've already claimed.
Yep.
I will also throw a shield on the Falcon. And pass.
Alright. Ready?
Yep.
It gets worse. Double aggression.
Jesus,
So
that's gross.
both upgrades go away and 4 damage to the
Gross.
Falcon.
Gross.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a ghost sometimes. Still an AT hauler.
Ouch. Big hit after big hit after big hit. Okay, then we are going to throw out a Kylo's TIE Silencer.
Yep, that's fair. We will... Fireball, no ambush.
Okay. What is that for? Oh, you already
These are deployed.
deployed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I
mark
was
in
like, wait,
deploy.
what?
Mark in the deploy.
Okay, I will flip the Grand Inquisitor.
Yep, I will turn off the fireball and then claim. Actually, no, sorry. I will turn off the... You killed him last game.
Right, it was
Yeah.
Han this turn.
Yeah, it was Han
I was
this
just
turn.
double checking in my head. what happened.
Actually, no. I'm gonna turn off the Soul and AT hauler.
Ah, you saw the Tarkinstown still
Yes,
available.
I was like,
did
oh
you?
yeah, Target's still up. No, I'm turning off the AT hauler.
Okay.
You don't get to take that.
No, I don't
No,
take
no,
that.
no. And the fireball can take a damage. I don't care.
Sure. So, Grand Inquisitor hits you for 3.
Yep.
I get to do 1 damage to Kylo's TIE to ready Kylo's TIE.
Yep.
Do I set up for killing the hauler next turn?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do you?
Nope, I swing at your face.
3 base. Okay.
3 to base.
I've already claimed.
Yep, so then I will pass. Yep,
Yeah.
there you go. I will pass after that.
Okay. I'm not gonna resource. Fireball takes damage.
I think I'm going to do it this way. Yes.
All right, good.
Yep, see what happens.
All right, I'm gonna turn off the Stolen AT hauler
Sure.
and Leia exhaust the Grand Inquisitor.
Okay. I will could be cheeky fun.
Shenanigans.
I'm going to, just for, see if this is going to work out, I'm going to run into the fireball.
Oh, kill the
over here.
fireball? Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to breaking in for 6 to your base.
Okay.
Pause again, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gets extra damage for damage on it. Okay, yeah, okay. And you've got 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
Damage coming at me. 2 more. Yeah, let's just do that. I'm going to put out a L3.
In that case, I claim the initiative.
Yep.
You pass?
Yep. Alright, that's you.
Okay. Three to your base.
Okay.
And I do a damage to Paz.
Okay. Let's just bamboozle to exhaust him.
Bo-Katan.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. L3 gets a hotshot blaster. 4 to base.
Okay.
Top of the deck.
17. 6. You're at 14.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
That's
Tarkin Town Paz.
Interesting. I'm at 16, by the way.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. In that case, actually, I'm still going to do the. I forgot to do this, but I turn that off. I'm going to kill Kaz. Just take it off the board. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 40 face. 21.
Mm-hmm. I'll claim.
I'll pass.
And you get this one.
All right, good game.
Yeah.
Tight, tight, tight. Oh yeah, you can push good damage out.
What, me or you?
You can. I mean, we both can actually. Both these decks push good
Again,
damage.
but my issue is if there's enough ping stuff, then I get shut down pretty easily.
Yeah,
So that's what I worry about. Again, it's been GI's problem this whole time he's existed. Is
you have
that
to be doing the damage to your units.
I'm hurting myself, and there's too many things that your opponents can do that can like do that little bit of like ping type damage.
Yeah.
So the question is can you compete while being able to absorb that or work around that? That's why you're using units like Grit, using units like Paz and stuff like that to actually try to mitigate that as much as possible, or use your weakness to your advantage.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I mean, I think the biggest, well, and also I think you also get hurt by my having a bunch of exhaust abilities in here too.
Yeah, your two exhaust abilities off the top of your deck, those saved you. I mean,
that was...
you had no cards in hand and top deck to bamboozle, so it's like...
exactly what I needed.
What am I supposed to do in that case? Because I win the game had you not done that, so...
Yeah, that was enough to shut you down right there. It's like, yep.
But I mean, that's what made Django so egregious, is he was exhausting all of your units all of the time,
As I said, I literally was just like, until he gets banned, and thank God they did ban him right away. Or fairly quickly. But I was just literally just like, I hate playing this, and I don't want to play competitively at all until this is gone, because this is all... There's no reason not to play him when he was out there, because he was too good. And it just sucked to play against.
There was still stuff you could do against him just fine.
A couple things. Yeah.
I got off on Endless Legions against a Django at Denver, okay? So,
that feels
if
good.
I can pull off that absurdity in a competitive environment against a Django, there's chinks in his armor. Okay, so
it wasn't even as much the power. It was just that it wasn't fun to play.
Well, yeah,
it just made it not fun. It's like, oh, and I just get to do nothing.
That's honestly how I feel against what I call like the heavy control stuff, where I call it counterspell Star Wars, right? Where it's I play a unit, you remove it. I play a unit, you remove it. I play a unit, you remove it. I'm not having fun anymore. It's like this is boring, and I would just rather not be playing this game if that's what we're doing. I like the puzzles, like what we just had, to have to solve and figure out. Like me doing paths like that, it was a cheeky move because you had the Leia still there available to do something. Yeah. But I'm also forcing you to actually do it or you lose. Yeah. Because I basically put you at game over if you can't do anything.
I don't think that was enough to kill me though. He would have
11 damage.
I think it's +1 for
plus 2 for every damage on him.
+2 for
he is insane in that regard.
Yeah, that forces the hand.
No,
right I always think it was +1, but yeah, that makes it.
What I maybe should have done was just pass and hope you attack with Leia.
Yeah.
And then do the Tarkin Town before you hit the the hauler. Yeah. And then it would have been, oh no.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I was.
But then you just claim.
I would have attacked with the hauler. I mean, I was not going to attack with Leia. I didn't.
Right.
Care
That's usually what's going to happen. That's going to be your second go. So.
Yeah. Like I did not care about her two damage.
All right.
4 was enough to kill you. So.
You want to? I'll close my eyes. You go ahead.
Oh yeah. All right. And you've got initiative. So yeah, we're keeping this. This is what I drew. This is an obvious one to go down. And then aside from that, I want to keep both of those. I want to keep those. So it's going to be this one. So it's going to be those 4, and we're good. Let me get mine picked up here. Maybe I can pick them up. All right, there we go. Closing my eyes, so Joey, you can show yours.
All right, so not sure this is a keepable hand. So that's what we're dealing with. I mean, that goes there, that goes there. It's probably these here, or it might even be like this. But I honestly think I'm throwing this back. I just think I want to have better curve options. Otherwise, I'm pretty much hoping and praying that I draw into something. And I don't ever like that.
You don't want that.
My worst enemy when it comes to this game, me, myself, and I. And it's usually just I draw bad. I draw terrible. So the more I can fine-tune a deck that allows me to have better control over my draws, that's the direction I'm heading. So like if we ever find a deck that actually gives you much better control over your drawing and your searching and your finding the stuff you want, which this game right now doesn't have a lot of good draw card stuff.
You got search your feelings.
Yeah. Well, my feelings tell me not to play that card, so let's search those out a little bit deeper. No, but Kiadimundi is a huge one in the next set. Yeah. You always have Pershing. That's probably your 2 biggest ones. I've actually been dabbling a little bit with the Matron that came out, which is the 2-cost 0/4. When you play a Force unit, draw a card.
Yeah.
And she's a 0/4, so she's kind of on the same lines as Pershing, except you're still obligated to play another card to trigger.
And then you have to actually trigger her afterwards. She's a tap as well.
Sure, but so is Pershing. So.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I'm saying she requires 2 actions rather than just 1. Like Pershing.
So, but we'll see. I mean,
yeah.
Again, I've seen a Yoda red deck that messes around with the new Rey. Kind of like that thought process. I've been kind of milling around with that a little bit. Because I think the new Owen Lars, the blue, restore 2, he dies, search 5 for a Force unit. Or is it Force unit or Force card? It might even be Force card, which makes it even better.
I don't actually remember.
I have to double check on that. So
I'm not sure. All right, close my eyes so you can go do your cards.
I believe you legitimately just gave me the same hand that I had.
Yes! The perfect cut.
Are your eyes still closed?
Yes, my eyes are closed.
Okay, so we have this
That's what I
into this. That probably goes away, and we'll keep that, and that'll go away, because we're stuck with this, guys. Nothing else we can do with but that. And... Alright.
Alright.
Ready?
Yep, you've got initiative.
TIE Bomber coming at you.
TIE Bomber coming at me. Alright, I see how it is. I see how it is.
You know who loves TIE Bombers? Vader.
He does. I'm going to put a corporate defense
the nice
shuttle down.
3-5.
3-5, can attack.
Yep. And that note, I'm going to claim.
And then I'm going to pass.
Okay. 3-5 can't attack my eye.
Huh?
You, sir. You, sir.
Huh? What?
You, sir.
I'm confused right now, but sure, okay.
Have an ability that says I can attack anybody I want
Yes,
to.
it does. I do indeed. I do indeed. Unless you put Kaz on it, which is a mistake you should never make.
That. Yes, don't ever do that.
Don't put Kaz on that ship.
Because he can't turn off the ability
attack.
until he attacks, and you can't attack.
Yeah. That's a mistake if you haven't played the Kaz deck. You'll make one time and then go, oh, that was dumb. Oh, that was a mistake. I should never have done that.
Whoopsie!
Oops.
Ready?
Yep.
Battle Fury.
It's just the
endless, a furious TIE fighter. TIE Bomber.
Battle Furies. So it's a
honestly, this is slowly becoming one of my favorite cards in this set.
Yeah.
It's just a giant... You sucker!
Take that TIE Bomber back into your hand.
Claim the initiative.
Yep. Attack for 3. And then I'll pass.
You know what I can't wait for? Waylays to go away.
No, Waylays will be back. I do not see
There's other forms of Waylays
there's other forms.
in the deck.
I honestly think Waylay's going to still be there. What do I get rid of here? Where are you at? We're at the 4 resource turn. You flip on 6. I don't need that. Okay. That's you.
Sand Trooper Cavalry.
Okay.
2/6 grid.
Okay. That's actually a good... That's a good Grand Inquisitor. Well, for 1 ready. At least.
Sure.
For 1 ready, it's pretty nice.
All I need is the first one.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to turn off the Corporate Defense Shuttle and swing for 3 in your face.
Okay. I will ready him.
Yep.
See what you do.
I will drop a Stolen AT Hauler.
Okay. Swing for 4 at you.
Yep. I'm going to put a shield on that AT Hauler.
Okay. I will claim.
And then I will put Kaz on that AT Hauler.
Okay.
And I will pass that. Oh boy. 5 resource turn, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So the intriguing thing was you did that so that you couldn't swing with Kaz right away knowing that I play aggressions.
It's fine, yeah.
So get rid of both of those upgrades.
I've accepted that.
No. The hauler doesn't go away.
The hauler... Oh yeah, because it only takes 4 damage.
So it doesn't even necessarily take 4 damage. All I said was get rid of the 2
that's
upgrades.
true, yeah. Get rid of the 2
so
upgrades.
I don't know if doing that is prevalent, but actually, since you now can't turn off the hauler and I still have Tarkin Town, it absolutely is prevalent.
Sure.
So we're going to do 4 damage to that.
Sure.
You'll still get in your damage, but...
Yeah. What we will do is swing... Let's surprise strike in for 7 with the hauler.
Okay. So we're going to do 4 damage to your base.
And we will... Let's just drop a fireball.
Okay. I will Tarkin Town the hauler.
Yep. And I will claim.
I will take the hauler.
Yep.
And then I will pass.
Okay. And 1 damage to the fireball. Let's get rid of... that's a tough choice, actually. On his flip side, it still has to be a unit with 3 or less power, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's only 1 damage.
1 damage,
instead of...
but it's still 3 or less, so
Correct.
neither of those can be readied with it.
Correct.
That's the thing I'm looking at, is can he ready things that I don't want him readying with it? Let's do... Yeah, that works. We're not going to resource. Alright. I have initiative. We didn't pass that.
Oh, we didn't pass that.
Yeah, we should pass that over. Let's just exhaust that hauler.
Usually 3 standing. Most likely a Millennium Falcon is going to be coming out, so that's going to be 9 damage, putting me to 22.
22, yep.
Okay. I like Kylo's tie.
Mm-hmm. 3 to base. Oh, sorry. I guess I didn't mention it, but yeah, obviously turn that off to do it.
Yeah,
But,
you tapped him.
Yeah,
So I assumed
tapped him so he could attack and then do that 3 damage.
Four damage to your base.
Mm-hmm. So that's 8, that's 12. 3 to your base.
I will flip Grand Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you knew it was coming out.
Sure, that's why I had to
Aggression.
save this.
Yep.
Aggression,
Yeah.
4 damage to kill the Falcon.
And draw a
And
card.
then I get to ready a unit of 3
Oh, you
power
get ready
or
with-
less.
Yep.
So we are actually going to
Kylo.
ready Kylo's.
Yep. I will then claim initiative.
So I'm at 19, so that's a 6.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Puts you to 21.
Yeah, you can give me the 21.
I think you can't kill me in one action without a surprise strike. If I put you to 21,
You can stop thinking. You can
well, that's
stop
just
thinking.
rude.
You
dude.
can stop thinking.
Yeah, but that's still rude.
No,
to
no,
do
I'm
that,
just-
though.
I'm just
Honestly,
saying,
that's
yeah.
super rude to
I
do that.
apologize.
To you
Yeah, I
guys,
was just
so-
saying we don't need to stress on it. It's over.
Well, but like the whole thing is that it's for purposes of what's the thought process of what you're going to be doing.
No, you're
here
right.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You shouldn't have done that.
My
at all,
apologies,
so-
but I was just like, you're stressing out. I'm like,
I'm not
there's-
stressing about anything. I'm
No,
just
no,
literally
not-
articulating
sorry.
what are the options here. So
Not stressing. Just saying, like, you don't need to think about it too much because it's over.
right. So,
Yeah.
but to recap, what could have been
Yeah,
the case,
your thought process. Yeah, I apologize.
right, is I can either put you to 21 and just force you to have the surprise strike,
Yep.
right? Because breaking in doesn't get you there.
Yep.
A hotshot blaster doesn't get you there.
Yep.
Right. The only thing is you had to have a +3 attack, and the only
right.
thing in the game currently with what units you have on the board, because pounce is technically +4, but you don't have a creature.
Yeah.
So the only thing you could have was a surprise strike, because the other thing that I can do is clear off 2 of your
you can clear
units and
away.
still do 3 damage to your base.
Yes,
because I can swing in, do 3, and then I could have killed and then killed to reduce or mitigate the damage at that point in time, because you don't have like a rebel assault.
Yeah.
The other option is just going into the base, into the base, into the base again, in which case
9 into base.
that represents death, and that represents death, to where then you
lethal.
have to have surprise strike on the board.
Yeah.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, would have been what I should have done. Because again, you put me in check by a surprise strike.
Yep.
I put you in check immediately by board presence.
Yeah, that's the right play.
So, talking about strategies, that's the play that, in most people in this circumstance, should have made.
Yes.
The other thing
that is the right play. I agree.
is that I have a Chaos of War in my hand.
Yeah.
So that's my reach to get to you. But at this point in time, your hand size is too small that it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
I'm too close to death.
Yep.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
right.
yeah, you'll win next round.
Yep.
But that would have been the plays to be making to put.
No, that would be the right call. Yeah, you are 100% correct. The putting me in check would be, I would put me in check over the clearing out my units, because you want to put it so you're 1 swing away, which is where you want to be.
It just depends
because
on...
then you're forcing me to have it.
Correct. Like I said, but it depends on circumstances. In that particular instance with your board state and my board state, yes, 100% the right choice would have been to make you have it.
Yeah.
My grievance is that every time I try to make my opponent have it, they always have it.
I mean, I've had it for a long time.
Oh, I'm sure you have. Most people that are playing yellow are going to never resource that, never get rid of that.
Yeah, I'm sitting on it for quite a while. Going, oh, and I did have a breaking in as well, but that wasn't going to kill you.
No.
But I had both the reaches ready to go. But
oh, so you're running both surprise and breaking in that deck.
3 surprise, 3 breaking in.
Last week we had talked about that, and you said that you think breaking in replaces surprise strike. So
in most decks, yes. In this deck, it wants the extra reach.
Okay.
I've got plenty of small units, because this doesn't really run big units.
Okay.
That basically the extra set of 3 is taking the place of a big unit essentially. Because I think my biggest unit is literally, Han, but I use him as a pilot most of the time.
Sure. So 5 cost.
5 cost is as big as this deck gets.
So
instead of playing big units, this deck plays right now 3 hot shots, 3 surprise strikes, 3 breaking in. So it just plays a bunch of reach.
Yep. Well, that's not really reach. It's just pumps.
Yeah, pumps. Yeah.
Reach would be the...
Sorry, direct damage.
Reach would be the Chaos of War, where I go right at your base.
Yeah, I don't have direct damage, but I have a bunch of pump damage, and that's the key. Like, I'm focusing on get a bunch of small units out, start just barraging you with pump damage. So yeah, I do think in a lot of decks, breaking in will replace it. In, like specific decks like this, where it's like, no, that's a lot of my damage. Like, I just want more additional damage to put on these ships.
So what are you concerned about with that deck going forward as far as...
So, obviously the biggest concern is other aggro decks. Can I outrace the other aggro decks? I think most of the cases, yes. Sabine's still a rough matchup. That's a challenge, as always, because she can just play control because her top end just rolls over me. And if she can slow me down, she's got the space units to do it. If she can just take out my space units before I can start getting stuff on them and pumping them up, she's going to win eventually, because I just can't. Poe and Wrecker are a problem.
Okay.
As soon as
Poe,
they come
especially
out.
because of the
Poe especially
upgrade.
Poe especially is a big problem. I want to be in a position where I'm very close to winning by the time Poe comes out. So that's where I really want to be racing really fast against her, because I do not have, other than waylays and that type of stuff, I can't do anything about Poe. Now, she's not going to get to ECL in Poe because I'm not going to put a ground unit out for her 99% of the time. So she's going to have to play it and then use it next round. But it's still a problem.
So speaking of ground units, that one turn where you had an exhausted AT hauler, you shielded it, and then deployed Kaz to a tapped unit. Why not go to the ground? You're still the same power and toughness. Well, actually, you have more toughness, but you're still the same power by going to the ground at that point in time.
No, I have less power. It's 2 power versus 3 power.
Okay. So
it's
you have 1 less power, but then you get to swing in that very turn.
Yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have done that.
Especially
forgetting about the aggressions. Like, that's a misplay on my part of the aggressions. I should have gone to the ground. But I don't think it was a huge thing because it was also the flip side is again forcing you to have that aggression. If you didn't have that aggression, you were in a lot of trouble with that.
Sure, I mean, yeah, that can be said of any pilot kind of thing. If you don't have the removal, again, it's like if an upgrade sticks, you're hurting kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's a questionable play on my part. That was I would say that's a me getting greedy type of play, which sometimes getting greedy can pay off. Sometimes getting greedy gets you killed. It's how it goes.
If only that happened in real life a little more often. I do feel like that is a lesson to maybe like look at. If you are running a pilot leader, yes, you have the versatility of going space, but don't ignore the fact that you can go onto the ground. I mean, people are expecting you to go to space, and sometimes you catch people off guard by going to the ground, and usually the stat lines of your leader pilots are not that different. You just usually don't get abilities at that point in time. But sometimes a body is better than an ability. Yeah. So just something to keep in mind if you're running a pilot leader to avoid getting blown out by a bamboozle, by an aggression, by a the Fang Fighter.
Disabling Fang Fighter.
Disabling Fang Fighter. It's that reading the room, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, and I think my play would have changed also if I had a blaster in my resource row. That would have also changed my.
Sure.
Like if I had a blaster, put him on the ground, get him to four attack, and let's rock.
So that last game, my opening hand, I had 1 unit and 5 other cards. I was like, okay, I could do the whole like battle plan again, and I had like the aggression and stuff like that. But I was like, but if you get rid of that 1 unit, I'm in big trouble if I don't draw into something. Yeah. But that hand had the only copy of Armed to the Teeth that I have. And I thought I still had that down here. Yeah. And it's like, if I would have had the Armed to the Teeth to be able to put onto the Kylos...
That would have done it.
And then done this, I would have won, which is what I thought I had. I went, oh crap, I don't have it.
Oh no, I mulligan. No.
So but again, all the games are close.
Yeah, good close games.
And, it was,
as I was expecting. Aggro versus aggro, it's going to be a tight race between the two of us.
Honestly, I thought you had the edge this whole time, and I'm actually surprised it took even 1 game off of you, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, you got that. I mean, you got what you needed, and then it's just like, I needed a waylay for that one, and I didn't have the waylay that game. Yep. That was literally like. The next 2 games, waylay was in my opening hand, which is what I wanted to see. Sure. And I'm like, great. That solves whatever you want to throw upgrades on.
Yeah, I typically feel like in your opening hand, you want to see, ideally, a turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 unit. Yeah. And 1 form of removal in your opening hand. Yeah. Barring that, you could go a turn 1, turn 2 play, some kind of removal and maybe an upgrade, or maybe a search, or maybe something else that is like a cheeky thing that you can do to then further your ventures in the next 2 turns. Yeah. That to me is what I'm always looking for in my opening hands. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I played just based on. I mean, for aggro especially. I mean, I'm looking for a turn 1, turn 2 play. If I don't have a turn 1 to turn 2 unit play or pump of a unit or something, I'm going to mulligan immediately because I need to be coming out to the races immediately. Yeah. But yeah, beyond that, I'm hoping to see a waylay or a jam communications or something I can screw with you with.
For you, I can see jam communications being that other card that you're looking for.
That's
beyond
a great
removal
other to have. Yeah. Like if I have that puts me in a good position because this deck runs so low to the ground, the bulk of the units are 2 to 3 cost. Mm-hmm. So I can easily on Kaz flip turn do a jam communication, still put out a unit, still put out a Falcon, whichever Falcon or whatever, or an AT hauler, it doesn't matter, and get that, hopefully that card that's going to be the problem for Kaz's flip out of your hand, and also then know what you have, so I know how safe it is to go onto a ship or if I need to go ground.
You know what I just realized they have not printed yet? Yeah. Is a unit that allows you to attack with an underworld and give them a buff. We have Republic, we have Rebel, we have Imperial, we now have Force. They have never made an underworld unit that buffs and lets you attack.
Interesting. I mean, that's fine. Well, Cad Bane doesn't need anything better.
The Millennium Falcon doesn't need anything better. Are you kidding me? That would be like gross.
Oh yeah, that's gross. Yeah, and I will say, as I said, again, this is a net deck. I'm already looking at tweaks. I'm already just from playtesting. Ogdo Bogdo is going to go down to 2.
Okay.
He's good. He's situational. Because this deck wants to go space first, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And he's lower down my list, like 3 drops. I want to play either of the Falcons first on my 3 drop. I want to play my Stolen AT Hauler. Ogdo's after those 3. So he's the 4th in the list of 3 drops I'm looking for.
Sure.
So that brings him to the point where it's like, and because he's unique, I might as well just run 2. So
Ogdo is unique?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was just a creature that
No, it's a type of creature. Ogdo is that specific creature.
I never
from the
knew that.
beginning of the game. Did you not play Fallen Order?
I did not.
It's a good game.
Okay.
I do recommend.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's going to go down to 1. Honestly, I think the Hotshot Blaster is going to go down to 2 also, just because this deck doesn't play enough ground.
Makes sense.
That I need 3 of them.
Sure.
So, like, I've got those 2 cuts. I haven't started thinking too closely about what I'm adding. I mean, one thing we were discussing that's of consideration is L337, but she's another 3-drop.
Yep.
I'm kind of looking probably for another 2-drop. I think is going to be what I'm digging for, to see what else I can find on a good 2-drop to use.
Are you running the 3/2 Naboo plane that just came out in set 5?
No, that's one that I am considering. The 3/2 ship is worth considering because that's another great ship to throw Kaz on. Because that's going to make that a 6/5.
Sure.
Great. So that's one I'll look at. Like, I need to look closer now, but again, as I said, this is what you want to do. You want to take those net decks, start playing them, see what you like, see what you don't like, start making adjustments. That's my earliest adjustments just from play testing is I don't need 3 of each of those. I do tend to resource... Well, obviously I resource the Hotshot every time, but I tend to resource Ogdo more often than I play him. He is great when I'm in the situation for him. But, the other big issue with Ogdo also is he's another thing I need to turn off.
Yeah.
And I have 1 activation unless I'm out
Right.
to be able to turn everything off. So I have to be smart about... One of the challenges of playing Kaz is you have to figure out the order of playing things and what you're going to turn off and what you're going to not. That's why, I had to let the fireball take damage because I needed to turn off something more important to turn off. But yeah, you get into a situation like once you have that corporate defense shuttle out, it's either going to be dead weight in the air or you're going to have to turn it off every round.
So the other thing you can do with that is, if you wanted to, is you can also run that pilot that's blue that makes a unit a sentinel.
That's worth considering.
And it's a 2-drop.
Yeah.
And it would then allow that 3/5 to become a sentinel and allow you to take the focus off of turning that off.
Which is very useful. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to have to look into that because that's worth considering. Yeah, I think that's what it needs is a little bit more of that. Another 2-drop that it can do something that lets you do some more shenanigans. That's the biggest ask there. Leia's another one I've thought about getting rid of because she
saved you that one game.
Yeah, I don't love the 2/2, but yeah, she can save your ass.
It's not a matter of the body. For her, she's more of a event that creates a body.
Yeah, it's an event that creates a body. It's also, I have gotten value out of the playing her for 1. Like, there's some times when I just have the right amount of resources where it's like, I'm going to play her, ready a resource, then I can still play something else along with her.
Yeah,
I got a body and something else. Yeah,
turn 4, you can play her,
Yeah.
ready a resource, still play your Millennium Falcon, and it buys you an action of stall to force something out of your opponent to react to at that point in time. So
that's why, I've debated her, but I'm just like, I think she sticks around because she brings enough value. It's possible one of them goes to the sideboard. That's very possible. Contracted Hunter is another big card you see in the Kazuda game. The Kazuda decks is that 4/4 ambush, but defeat in the regroup phase. So you have to turn him off. He's good. He's very much a sideboard card.
I think it's a sideboard.
He's sideboard because he's going to be very good against these Jedis because there's so many 4 health Jedis. So he is going to be really useful. I get a Jedi deck, bring him in, let's kill those Jedis, and start having a body on the ground and not have you get in the Force. So he is going to be a good sideboard card, but he's not good enough to side deck or to main deck. Especially, again, you really have to be considerate of, I can't be turning everything off every turn. So you want some strong cards you can turn off, but you also want to have a number of cards that are just good overall.
Yeah, I agree. So. All right, well, that's looking like it's going to be that episode wrap-up for us. So hopefully you got some insights. You got to see a little bit of what's going on with our thought processes of what we're debating over and what we're looking at. Me personally, I don't know that I'm going to continue with the GI deck. I really want GI to be something, but I'm not quite sure it's there yet. He got so many tools it feels bad, but I definitely think I like my third sister of what we've shown you so far a little bit better, and I've been making some tweaks to her already, so as well.
She was interesting. I think there is potential for Grand Inquisitor this set. I do think it could be possible. This fourth set, I think he got some help, and he may be looking a lot better. I don't know if double red's the right choice.
True.
That's a question. Then, yeah, there's a lot of different options to build him.
That is the thing I like about most leaders.
Yeah.
Most leaders are good in pretty much every color. It's just a matter of you figuring out how that color synergizes.
Yeah.
So I won't say all, because there are a few of them that are just like, no, this just doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
But most leaders are good in at least 2, if not 3, and a few of them are absolutely busted in all 4.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that'll do it for us. I'm Ginger Joe.
And I am Starfleet Ensign Corey.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.